Hello all. We are going to continue our discussion. As you all know, in the first lecture, we created this screen, and our goal is to go ahead and create the same thing. And now you want to follow my instructions, and of course you won't be able to do it while I am lecturing here unless you have two computers. Because in the classroom I lectured and I had my own computer. You could see it on the projector that and then you could type them on your computer. But here you are only seeing it, or imagine you are seeing it through the projector. And now your computer is being used to watch this. And then after my lecture, you can go ahead and do the same. Imagine that you want to create your own screen and your own budget. This cell is called cell A1. This is A2, A3, A4, B1, B2. I am clicking on each one of these cells. This box is moving. Now I click on cell A1 and I highlight all these cells together all the way through cell AN, and I come here and click here where it says merge and center. And then I double click and I type my name. Now I click on cell A2. I can merge them first, or I can type budget. After I type budget, I click enter. That brings box down. Again, I click on the same box A2 and highlight all the way through cell ABN, and I click merge and cell. That puts the cell all the cells together. You can always also, for now I don't talk about formatting, I just want to go ahead and put the important data in there. And then, of course, here I have my name, and you type your name in that box. Now, on cell A3, as you see, I am going to type income. And on the cell B3, in cell B3, I type January, and I make sure I spell January correctly, January. And then on cell C3, I type February. And then in cell D, I type March. When I type these three, and then when I type these 3 months, Excel understands that I want to write the months of the year. And by doing so, I click on January and highlight January, February, and March all together. This bundles all 3 months together. That way, I am telling Excel that I am trying to type the months, and Excel understands. Do you see there is a plus sign that I am moving this plus sign that is similar to American Red Cross, but it is in a white color. I bring that plus all the way to the very corner. Look how that plus changes to a solid plus when I bring it here. And I will hold on to the mouse key while it is in a solid plus, and I drag it all the way through cell M. That's 12 cells I highlighted, and I release that and look to see how nicely Excel understood that I am trying to type the months of the year. Imagine that you didn't understand and you don't know how to do it. You can manually type April here, May, June, July, doesn't matter, as long as you can put these months in here. But it is easier to use, as I said, to highlight all these three, to bring the arrow to the very corner and drag it all the way through. And this solid plus, Excel calls it fill handle. And it fills the numbers for you. It fills whatever it thinks you are trying to type, it will put it there. Now I come here and imagine you work for McDonald's. I put MacDon for McDonald's, and then under McDonald's, I click and I type interest, INT. For simplicity, I just put INT, and at the end I put total Inc. to see what your total income is. Now I'm going to click on January and I am going to type 1000. I click on the cell February, and on this cell, I know that this doesn't change because every month you are going to make $1,000. Therefore, maybe it is easier for me to bring this plus sign to the very corner and tell Excel to copy it all the way through. If you remember in here, I bundled this January, February, and March. The reason is to it is because January, I don't want all of this to be January's. If I bring the arrow here and drag it all the way through, everything will be typed January. But I intentionally type January here, then February, then March, and then I bundle them together. By doing so, Excel understood that I want to change them, and these are the names of the months, and it put those for me. But as I said, if you don't know how this works, just you may type them manually. That's no problem. And as you all know, here, interest that I make according to here, let me see, it was 5,000 here. Therefore, I click on this here and I type 5,000. And in the month of July, I click here on the month of July and I make 5,000 and I click enter. And that is what I make. Now I click on their total income and I want to see how much money I made in January, which I know how much I made. It is 1,000 here and 5,000, it is 6,000. One way is to type 6,000 here. Another way is to come and look at here where it is written auto sum. I click on this arrow and do you see here is called sum, and this signal is called sigma. Sigma in the math is a indication that you want to add something. That's a sum sigma. Anyhow, one time I click on that sum and I see some boxes, a box around 5,000 and 6,000 and some lights around that. Many years ago, Excel called those lights as marching ants. Look at that, they look like marching ants. Under it, I see a formula which is saying equal sum parentheses B4 and B5. It is asking me, Excel, are you sure you want to add cell B4 and B5? Because I am sure that I want to add those cells. I look at my keyboard and I click enter. It became 6,000, therefore it adds it for me. One time I click on that 6,000, and guess what? I am going to bring arrow to the very bottom of this, and I'm going to drag it all the way to see how much total in. Guess what? My formula in that box copied. You know why? Because here I didn't put this 6,000. Excel put it for me. Therefore, it added for me. It added in July 1,000 plus 6,000, 1,000 plus 5,000 became 6,000. Therefore, that is the way Excel will put the numbers for you. I come and one time click on cell A8 and I put EXP for expenses and I click under expenses. What kind of expenses do I have? I have rent. I click enter. The box comes below. I put food, enter. Tuition, enter. Books, enter. Entertainment, I put ENT for entertainment, enter. And car payment I have, enter. Gas I have, MIS for miscellaneous, enter. And then I want my total expenses to see how much I spend every month. Once I have this, then I click under the rent, next to rent, which is cell B9. I know that my cell rent is 300. I put 300 and I click enter. And then I click where it says 300. Guess what? Drag it all the way through December. and it copies. It saves me time by not typing. As I said, if you don't know how it works, you may manually type it. Also, for simplicity, I copy it. I put 100 here, and then I click enter, and then I go back to my box, bring the arrow to the very corner to change it to a solid plus, and drag it all the way through. I come to the tuition. We said you have 1,000 tuition you pay in January. And when you come back in August, you have to pay 1,000. And then I come to books. We know that you pay $200 for the book. And then I click on cell I-12 and you pay $200 for the book. And as you all know, when I click 200, I didn't copy it all the way through. The reason is that you don't have 200 expenses every month. It only this cost is only for January and August. And then I click on entertainment. For entertainment, I put 50, enter. And for gas, I put 200, enter. For for car 200, gas 50, miscellaneous 50. Now click enter. I bundle this together. I'm going to use a trick. Look at here. I think the book does it this way. It bundles them together. After it bundles them together, it brings the arrow to the very corner and drags it all the way through. I'm sorry, I shouldn't bundle the book because you don't have the book every month. You only have entertainment, car, gas is $50. Miscellaneous is $100. You know what the book does? The book knows that you have these expenses. $50 is every month, car every month, gas every month, miscellaneous every month. It bundles them together and drags this one through, and see how nicely it copies everything for you. And then I have to calculate the total expense, and we will come back in the next lecture video, and we will discuss and we will continue. And I am going to save it to publish it to YouTube. After I saved it, okay, I go and stop the recording.